Welcome back to Beauty and B Movies with me, Pale Kale. Today's going to be a special little video, a little bit shorter than my other videos that I usually post. I'm here to talk about my 5 must-see B horror films. So if you're interested in hearing about those, stay tuned. If you're here for the makeup, this is it. There will be no makeup portion of today's video, but I am here to talk about some horror movies. So let's get into it, shall we? The Town That Dreaded Sundown is the 1976 classic crime horror film that is a complete underrated gem for me. With just a low budget of $400,000, they made a film that I feel like is actually genuinely creepy and has an antagonist that actually is kind of scary. I like the idea that evil lurks among us and maybe looks just like our next door neighbor or looks like you and me. It's not exactly always like a scary, creepy monster creature in the woods. Sometimes it's just your average Joe. And this movie really explores that idea. I like it when horror movies have a little bit more to say rather than just, killing people, woo. That gives this movie an extra leg up. I also love the idea that there's this mystery of the Phantom, which is this movie's antagonist, who was inspired by the Phantom Killer, a real-life murderer who was responsible for the Moonlight murders in Texarkana in 1946. This movie takes based on a true story to a whole new level. Don't even get me started on that trombone kill. It's definitely a must-watch for me. It's very underrated in my opinion. I feel like I don't really hear much about it ever. And I'm surprised that there's no franchise. I know that there was a kind of reboot, requel sort of deal that came out in 2014. I definitely recommend this one if you enjoy slashers or kind of crime horror or early slashers. I would classify this as more of an early slasher rather than just your standard run-of-the-mill kind of go-to of the genre. So definitely give this one a watch. My number 4 must-see B movie is Last Shift, the 2014 psychological horror that is more of a modern entry into the B movie genre. It's definitely a modern interpretation of a B movie. Couldn't find specifics for the budget. Last Shift is a claustrophobic psychological horror with lots of cult elements. Well, I would say the acting in this is better than your average B movie. I would say that the low budget and the unknown cast make this a very solid interpretation of a modern B film. Last Shift is all about a rookie cop who is working the last shift at a police precinct that is closing down due to paranormal activity. Well, it might sound straightforward and predictable. This movie has incredible jump scares. It's very tense and very nerve-wracking. There's an eeriness to it. It's really mainly just one actress. Her name's Juliana Harkavy that carries the film. And then there's just, a couple of characters thrown in here and there, but for the most part, it's just her doing her thing. And it's incredible to see. The acting is, especially for a B film, very, very strong. If you're someone that is scared of anything to do with cults, me, or you're looking for something that's a little bit more of like quick pace and has genuine scares and genuine jump scares in particular, this is the film for you. Definitely recommend checking it out. My number 3 choice for my must-see B movies is called Sleepaway Camp. It's a 1983 classic slasher. This movie has everything that I love in a classic horror film. It's got creative kills, goofy dialogue.
I gotta take a wicked dump first, so I'll see you guys down there, right?
And a very straightforward plot that I don't have to look up to understand what I'm watching. I'm looking at you, The Void. No, I'm just kidding. I love The Void, but I was confused by it. I'd like to review it, but I don't know how I would even go about reviewing that one because it was a journey that I was on. Anyway, initially when I watched Sleepaway Camp, I kind of assumed it would be, just a ripoff of Friday the 13th, or it would be like The Burning, but it is nothing of the sort. It's a movie that stands on its own 2 feet for sure. It has almost, besides the same setting as the other camp films of the time, it is a completely different type of story. Sleepaway Camp follows a string of creative murders at Camp Arawak, a summer camp full of lots of fun camp activities like baseball games strewn with profanity.
Eat shit and die, Ricky!
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Multiple attempted drownings, and the continued bullying of the main character, Angela, a girl who is hated simply for being quiet, I guess. Couple all of this with a $350,000 budget, one of the worst fake mustaches I've ever seen, and one of the biggest plot twists in horror history. And you've got yourself a top-tier slasher, my friend. definitely recommend. My number 2 must-see horror film is the 2007 slasher Hatchet, which again is another more modern interpretation, but it is completely and utterly dedicated to being an homage to the classic 80s slasher horror, which I obviously love, given that so many of these films are slasher movies, and I'm well aware of that. With cameos from Robert Englund and Tony Todd and an incredible performance from Kane Hodder, it is no wonder why this film has multiple sequels, which I have not seen, and I probably should get into that, I'm aware. Hatchet revolves around the simple, age-old plot of scary man lives in the woods, wants to kill a bunch of trope-inspired characters. The thing that makes this movie as great as it is and makes it stand apart from other entries into the genre are the kills and the special effects. They're truly next level. For a $1.5 million budget, the special effects and the kills that they achieved in this movie are insane. Definitely recommend checking it out if you're a big fan of gore, because this movie has gore galore, my friends. It's a lot. The best part of it all is that it's all practical effects, no CGI going on here, including a kill where a woman is literally ripped in half. Must be seen to be believed. And I know what you're thinking, ripped in half like this, like a phone book or whatever? No, ripped in half like this, like a gator's mouth, just torn right in half. It's insanity. 10 out of 10 recommend. Absolutely watch Hatchet if you haven't already, because I had a ton of fun with this one. It all feels so familiar, but in the most comforting way, not in a way that it feels unoriginal and uninspired, but in a way that, you want a slasher movie to take care of you. You don't have to tuck you into bed, make you feel nice and at ease, just kind of show you all the blood and guts that you're looking for. Or maybe that's just me. That sounds unhinged, but hey man, if nothing else, watch it for the special effects, because they are completely worth it. They're simply the best, better than all the rest. My number 1 top spot for my must-see B horror movies is the 1989 classic Intruder. Intruder was made on a $130,000 shoestring budget, resulting in some very unique cinematography, some questionable acting, and some pretty one-note characters. So you're probably thinking, why choose this one then? What makes it so good? Well, Intruder is a campy, fun little horror film with a very unique setting, a grocery store. Something I've never seen before in horror, to be honest with you. There's funny dialogue, inventive kills, and a truly unhinged killer who is devoted to terrorizing all of these grocery store employees.
Don't you see? I'm just crazy about this store.
Intruder is underrated B horror movie gold, and I feel like I never hear anything about this one, even though they did so much with a shoestring budget. It's honestly impressive. Much like Hatchet, very creative kills, also done with pretty much just practical effects. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to reveal too many spoilers, but totally recommend giving Intruder a watch. Something new and different into a genre that was pretty much beaten to death by the late 80s. So for that reason, it will always hold a place in my chilly little heart. I feel like Intruder deserves its flowers, so here you go, Intruder. We want to celebrate you here. I feel like, again, just the fact that it's completely underrated, never hear anything about it, tiny little budget, and what they achieved on this budget was making a very unique, fun, silly, and also kind of at some points a little bit creepy B horror film. That's pretty much it for me today. I just wanted to kind of pop in here and tell you guys what some of my favorite B horror films are. I'd love to hear down below what your favorite B horror films are, especially if they're of the slasher variety, because clearly I'm biased and I love me a good slasher film. I'd also love to hear more about found footage horror. I feel like that's a genre I usually don't get into because the camera's so shaky a lot of the times, so that one's hard for me to get invested in. But if you have any recommendations that have maybe a little bit of a steadier camera, or even just like paranormal, B horror, really anything that isn't slasher related to just kind of get me out of my comfort zone, I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear your comments down below, what you think of this video, what you think about short form content for me. And I know the makeup wasn't like a big thing today, but I am using one of the new Wet n Wild Chameleon single shadows. $7 for this color on my lids. I don't think you can really tell on film, but it is a duochrome. It's kind of like a gold, green, orange duochrome, and it's very pretty. So definitely recommend those. They almost have a wet look to them. I just want to show you the shadow that I got. I mean, $7 for this is crazy. It has almost a wet feel to it. It's like kind of metallic. This is one swipe here. My goodness. I mean, that is a beautiful, it's almost got like a foilness to it because it's got that wet feeling. I don't know if you can tell on film too, but this is like got a green shift to it. It's really gorgeous. It looks just gold, I feel like, on here, but it has a green shift. I think it just looks gold on film. But anyway, if you are looking for a beautiful single shadow from the drugstore, these and the e.l.f. ones are like top tier for me. So anyway, just wanted to show you a little bit of the makeup side of Beauty and Bee movies as well, since we talked only about horror today. But if you have any comments or anything to say, please leave them down below. As always, thank you very much for stopping by my humble little abode, Beauty and Bee movies. Of course, I had to feature the Alani, the cherry twist. So delicious. That's all I got for me today. Thank you guys again for watching, and until next time, I'm Pale Kale. This has been my top 5 must-see Bee horror movies. See you around. I done.